name is Professor Nicola Burgess, and I am module leader for one of the modules, which is Strategic Operations Supply Chain Management, which is part of the MSc for Logistics and Supply Chain Management. So across the Masters and in my module in particular, we introduce students to some of the foundational principles of strategy, of strategic operations, logistics and supply chain management. And for this particular module, I was really keen for our students to get some hands-on practical experience with lean methodologies, problem-solving methodologies and continuous improvement. And the reason for that is because it is the best way to learn, to get students away from their screens and actually doing something with their hands and working out problems together within teams and their classmates is a really valuable experience for our students, and something that we have worked hard to develop within this particular module. And that is why I actually went out to Jamie here, who will talk about his simulations and how he uses those simulations to help students and businesses to develop these problem-solving skills.
Thank you. So I'm Jamie Thompson, and I'm Managing Director of a company called MTa Learning. And we specialise in making learning more interesting, more engaging. And so it was an absolute pleasure to be invited to run the simulations on the programme. And so we've been running 2 simulations. The first one is a lean simulation, and it was fantastic to see the students get involved in a real-life production simulation, starting to learn some of the fundamentals of lean and applying some of the theory that they've been learning on the programme, putting it into action. And it's fantastic to see those lessons really hit home and help them make sense of what's going on in their lectures and start to relate it to real life situations. And we've just run a second simulation called Broken Machine. It's based on the Toyota A3 problem solving methodology. And we gave the students 6 hours of really immersive, detailed, thoughtful simulation, working together in groups. They were faced with a real broken machine, and they had to use the methodologies we've been teaching them to work through a structured problem solving. And it was fantastic to see them apply their learning and start to think more critically and deeply about the issues faced.
And the benefit of doing a simulation in this way is because it helps students understand what problem solving is like in operations management, supply chain management in the real world, because they're faced with a real problem and they're working in teams, they have to work together. And very often I think we see students and professionals, we tend to look for the solutions straight away. And so what we're doing them through the use of the simulation is breaking it down, forcing them to think deeply about the causes and what is causing those effects, and also then doing some sort of problem solving using the 5 why method and really drilling deep to understand what the issue is together. So working together is a really key point, and then thinking about, okay, how do we solve for these problems going forward.
And how do you think the students reacted to the simulation, Nicola?
So the students have just reacted so well to the simulation. I think it was challenging for them. I think they were sort of scratching their heads quite a lot, and we gave them a lot of time. And I think as a teacher myself, I often will share the process of problem solving or the process of lean methodology, for example, but through using a simulation, they're actually doing it and they're learning about it in a different way. That's clearly very valuable for them. It's something they just wouldn't have got from a lecture alone.
How did you feel watching the students do the simulation?
So I think it was a good lesson for me, actually, as a lecturer, to hold back and to sit and to watch them figure it out for themselves, because it's quite a slow process. Yeah. And I think as instructors, we tend to be there with the solution for them, to guide them along. Yeah. And actually the valuable piece is that process of thinking about it, talking about it, maybe getting it wrong, and then going back and starting and doing it again. And I think that's been hugely valuable. So.
Yeah, I think the best bit for me actually, Nicola, was at the end of the simulation when someone came back into the room and they said, well, how could I use this in a job? What kind of job do I need to apply to apply some of the techniques we've been learning about today? And I think then we knew we'd made a real impact, and people had really enjoyed the simulation and got a lot from it.
we've just finished our simulation and problem solving. I just wanted to hear from you your reflections on the activity. What did you find particularly challenging? What was useful? What did you learn?
Personally, I think the most challenging is for the 5 whys to find the reason step by step. And as I learned a lot about the teamwork and communication, how to work together and efficiently.
I think the most important thing is our team have very good communication. Well, especially when we complete the fishbone analysis, and each of us have to find like method machine and figure out the problems. So during this program, we have to learn from each other.
Well, personally, I'm a visual learner, and
Okay.
through seeing the process happen right in front of me and actually being able to intervene with it, I kind of went in depth as to how I should think about problem solving when it comes to specific operations. So I think to me personally, just hearing it is not enough. I have to somehow engage it in my mind.
Okay.
And that just eliminated, like being able to do it right in front of me, eliminated the whole massive process that I would have had to think about at home. So now I can just go home and just make sure I just relate the readings or the theories to the practical.
I think the fishbone for me is really important. It's a good way to help me to display the problem from 6th dimension, and I can analyze it more details and more deeper per questions based on this fishbone.
Yeah.
I think it will be really useful for me in the future.
Soft skills, and each member has his own ideas, and we have to put only one idea and choose the best. And in terms of approaches, I really like 5 whys because it's just makes you to think deeper and think critically.
So the 5 whys drives that deeper level of analysis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and the machine's good because you can touch it and feel it and move it.
yeah.
Find out what works.
Yeah, and like the number of these questions, like 5, is also important because sometimes it's difficult to go deeper, but
Yes.
but you should to answer all 5 questions. And it helps you to analyze the process and make an improvement and solve all problems.